Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. 5:01 a.m., Monday, October the 6th. I hope you're having a great start to your Monday. I just warmed up my big blue mug of coffee in the microwave. What a chilly morning we have here in Calgary today, 1 degree. I have an awning out back of my house made out of fabric, and I went out there to clear water off of it because it rained a little bit over the weekend, and it was icy today. So I'm going to have to get the awning down. I don't want a lot of snow out there, and that could happen at any time. Luckily, I haven't had to turn the furnace on. I hope you're nice, warm, and toasty wherever you may live. So today I want to talk about a video I saw yesterday. You may have seen this, and if you saw this, you probably were amazed at what you saw. Maybe not surprised, but amazed. If you haven't seen it, your jaw is going to drop. And it's Pierre Poilievre talking to a couple of youngsters. I would assume they're in their late 20s on a podcast called Can't Be Censored. A matter of fact, when I saw this video, I thought that my video had frozen on my MacBook because there's a pregnant pause in between the question these two young people ask Poilievre and his answer, and he really lays into them with his answer. And I'm not going to be overly critical of these young people because they do not know of their ignorance. This is what they've been taught. This is what they now accept. I did a video back in May talking about how mediocre the country is. I'm going to show you a little short clip of that in just a moment. And I said that Canada is mediocre. What's happening right now is that the Liberals are lowering your expectations when it comes to your way of life. They're normalizing the abnormal. You accept the mediocrity now. People call it managing the decline, and I've called it that here as well. So what I'll do is I'll show you this, and let's come back and talk about this because this is prevalent in Canada now with pretty much everything.
Home ownership. You often talk about home ownership as the Canadian dream, but if, let's say, half a generation that's not even a possibility for them. Should we maybe change the narrative, the framing of, success from renting or owning a home to, renting or,
Yeah. I mean, I guess does the metric need to change? Is the Canadian dream anymore owning a home, or can it be renting?
Are you serious?
I don't know. I mean,
No. Do you realize?
This is the conversation because
just if I could, do you realize what they've done to you?
Who's they?
The government.
What have they done to us? Oh boy.
They just tricked you into massively lowering your expectations.
lower on the bar.
For your quality of life. I find it heartbreaking that people are being tricked into thinking that their lives have to be permanently worse than they were 10 years ago.
But why is it worse to be a renter?
Why it's worse to rent permanently?
Mm-hmm.
It means you'll never be able to build up home equity. Home equity is the basis for most retirements. It means that you'll always be paying off the mortgage of a multinational corporation that rents you your place rather than building up ownership in a place that you can call your own. Owning a home was something we took for granted only 10 years ago.
Wow. Do you realize what they've done to you? Who? The government. Let's watch it again. It's just one of the most honest things I've ever heard a politician say.
Are you serious?
I don't know. I mean,
Do you realize?
This is the conversation because
just if I could, do you realize what they've done to you?
Who's they?
The government.
Pierre Poilievre should put that on a damn t-shirt. Do you realize what they've done to you? Who? The government. I mean, people are making a thing of this, but this is absolutely the most amazing thing I've ever heard a politician say. God love you, Pierre Poilievre, for saying it, because you're right. Here's what I said May 19th about Canada and its mediocrity and accepting this kind of crap. Secret RCMP report warns Canadians may revolt once they realize how broke they are. I think a lot of you realize how broke you are, how broke the country is. And you didn't accept the mediocrity when you voted on April the 28th. You voted for the other guy. You didn't accept the mediocrity. You didn't want to perpetuate the mediocrity. You didn't want to normalize the mediocrity, but more Canadians did, and you got more mediocrity from the Liberal Party after 10 years of mediocrity. These young people talking to Poilievre are talking about housing, but this happens everywhere in our society now. I remember a few years ago, and maybe you remember as well, if you live in my area, but I think gas prices got up over $1.40 a liter. It came down to $1.30 and people were happy. I said, don't be happy. Don't accept this. It was ridiculously high before. Now it's unmanageably high. We want it to be where it should be, about $1 a liter, where it used to be. It shouldn't be this high, but you accept the high prices now because it was in the stratosphere. It's the same thing with housing, right? So let's go through a few more things that people are accepting now. And you have to remember this. The left also needs a scapegoat for this. They do this with everything. They're not the problem. It's somebody else's fault. And just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's look at your income after taxes. Be happy. Carney gave you a mediocre tax cut, but you're paying a lot more in taxes than you would be if you're living in the United States. Now, the people out there who are watching this video who disagree with me on everything will say, yeah, but we pay high income taxes because we get all this good stuff and this free stuff that makes our life more affordable in this country. Well, that's not the case at all. Let's move on to houses again. You're not going to get a regular house in Carney's Canada. You're more likely to get something that looks more like a shipping container. But be happy you're getting that now because, of course, we've lowered the expectations. Food prices, right? Food prices are higher. They're getting higher. There's just a story last week. Food prices are going to come down, right? They'll come down a bit, not to where they should be, but you're going to accept it, and then you're going to thank the government for bringing it down to a point where you still can't afford it, but it's a little less than you're paying right now. Businesses are paying a lot more too. They're expected to pay more. This has become normal. Normalizing the abnormal. Our GDP is ridiculous. We're not doing as well as countries around the world. It's been proven. Here are 3 graphs right now that show you how bad Canada's doing. But again, you accept this. Because the country's mediocre, the deficit. Remember when $10 billion was a high deficit? I mentioned this just last week. Moderate deficits of $10 billion. That was what, I think, around 2019. Trudeau promised us it was $62 billion last year, and it could be over $100 billion, but this is becoming normalized. Our healthcare, is it getting better? It isn't getting better. Admit it, it's getting worse. But if you mention private care, the managed decliners will scream bloody murder, but your healthcare is getting worse. It's not getting better, but you're accepting this mediocrity. Immigration, we need it. Do we really need all the immigration we've had? What was it? 1.2 million people came into the country last year. I don't think Carney and the Liberals are doing much about it, folks. Do we really need it? Youth unemployment's at 14%. And in every category for Canadians, more people are out of work. But we need more people to work here. That's what we're told. Pipelines, you got one. Why do you need more pipelines? Oil and gas made more money last year than ever. Stop being a whiner, Alberta. All the lost revenue on natural resource projects over the years. Hundreds of billions of dollars are lost. Daniel Smith has talked about this. But I'm told to accept the mediocre, to manage this decline, to accept what the government is doing to me. What are you going to accept next? Inferior cars, EVs? Now, an EV might work for you, but the government's going to tell you that you need this, you have to have this, despite the fact you don't want it. How about less travel because of higher prices? You don't think that's coming? Mark Carney's talked about this.
But shouldn't we be flying less now?
We should be taking into account the impact of our flying on the planet now. And that's
pushing up the tax on flying.
You push up the tax on flying, you push up the cost on transport, and that's in part what putting a price on carbon is.
Yeah. Your prime minister thinks they should raise the prices of traveling, and then you won't be able to travel. He will be able to. And the elites will be able to. Global warming is about people who live large telling the rest of us how to live small. But what do leftists always do? Now, not all of these things on the list are blamed on one thing. There's lots of reasons. Most of it's government. And there's lots of other things I could have put on the list. But what they do is they find a scapegoat. The reason you're not doing well is because of this guy. The decline that you're accepting was happening long before Donald Trump showed up. Donald Trump is just a symptom. The Liberals, your government, are the disease. And a lot of people vote for this. I don't accept this. Do you? Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. And before I go, don't forget, October the 25th, 4 to 6 p.m., Edmonton, Alberta, Alberta Legislature, huge independence rally. There's no reason why you shouldn't be there. I'm asking you to be there. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.